Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this March the 30th, 2025. I'm hoping everybody had a great Sunday out there so far. Everybody has a great Sunday evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather, because the only weather you got. Okay, in tonight's video, we're going to be talking about the storm system here across the lower 48. As you can see, we have one storm system here along the Gulf Coast, stretching into the southeastern U.S., bringing some showers and storms to Mississippi, portion of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, also in the portion of North Carolina and Florida. Then we got a little bit up in the mid-Atlantic region across the Virginias into Pennsylvania. Another storm system here across Canada, stretching into portions of St. John's and Newfoundland and also Maine. Here's the area of low pressure up here in portions of the Wisconsin area, also in the portion of Michigan, the Illinois to Indiana, also back into Missouri, also in the portion of Louisiana and Texas. More activity from Oklahoma, North Texas, back into Washington, Oregon State, Montana, and through the Dakotas as well. And also some scattered activity across the East Pacific, South America region as well. And you can see there's a swirl of low pressure system off the west coast that will continue to kind of pivot to the east and kind of affect the western U.S. And we're expecting a severe weather outbreak tomorrow, Monday, from portion of Louisiana to New York State. Tuesday, we're expecting one back over here in portion of Iowa, also in the portion of Missouri and Illinois, and also in portion of Missouri. Then another one coming up on Wednesday, stretching from Texas all the way into the Tennessee River Valley as well. So get ready, folks, and we're going to be having a lot of severe weather over the next several days, so get ready for that as well. Alright, if you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Also like these videos, share these videos, and let's continue to get the show on the road there, folks. Alright, you can see we got some freezing rain and mixed precipitation over Maine, and more mixed precipitation from Vermont and New York State. Also a little bit up here around Lake Huron in northern Michigan. There's that severe weather from New York State to Louisiana and North Florida, including the Georgia and the Carolinas and Virginia and D.C. area. Thunderstorms and showers around Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and the coastal waters. Showers for a portion of New Hampshire and eastern Maine. More thunderstorms and showers from western Pennsylvania through Kentucky, Tennessee, and Louisiana and northern Gulf. Then we got some shower activity over around Nebraska, portion of Iowa, and also South Kansas and also Colorado. And again from a portion of California up to western Washington and Oregon State. Heavy snow over a portion of South Oregon and northern California region as well. More mixed precipitation from Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, to Wyoming to South and North Dakota, portion of northern Nebraska, Montana, and Idaho regions as well. Otherwise, expect dry high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Monday. Alright, here's your Tuesday forecast, which is April Fool's Day, and there's no fooling in Tuesday weather forecast. As you can see, we have some thunderstorms and showers from western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, Georgia, Florida Keys, to Alabama, to Louisiana, to portion of Texas, North Texas to Arkansas, Arkansas, all the way over to Indiana, all the way to Iowa, and also in the Nebraska and Kansas region. There's that pocket of severe weather over portion of Nebraska to Kansas to portion of Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa region. Some freezing rain over portion of Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota. Heavy snow over portion of Minnesota back in North and South Dakota. Also Montana, southern Oregon, and northern California. Showers along coastal areas over here in portions of California all the way up to Washington, Oregon State. Mixed precipitation from Michigan to Minnesota through the Dakotas back to Montana, Idaho, Washington, portions of Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, northern areas of New Mexico and Arizona regions as well. Otherwise, expect dry high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Tuesday, which is April Fool's Day. And like I said, there's no fooling about the weather for your Tuesday. Alright, let's move on to your current watch and warning advisory map. You're located across the nation. We got some winter weather advisory for Maine, stretching into portion of New Hampshire. Got some dense fog advisories up around Long Island area and coastal vicinity. A little bit of coastal flood advisory around the Rhode Island area. Severe thunderstorm warnings and watches for eastern Michigan, stretching into Ohio, and also some severe thunderstorm watches from portion of Arkansas and the portion of Texas. River flood warnings still continue for areas of Mississippi. And then we got dense fog advisory along the Gulf Coast from the Louisiana coast, also down in the Big Bend area of Florida, stretching over to the Florida Panhandle in this area here. Even some special marine warnings, and even got a flash flood watch and a warning in effect for portions of southern Alabama. All right, we got winter ice storm warnings over northern Michigan, winter storm warnings, and winter weather advisory, and one ice storm warning for Wisconsin, also in northern Michigan. And there's that ice storm warning over northern Michigan as well. Winter storm watches in effect for Minnesota, North and South Dakota, portions of Montana. We got winter weather advisories over here in portions of Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, portions of Oregon. Winter storm warnings in the mountains of California region as well. We have special weather statements over North Texas, portions of Oklahoma, also into Kansas, also over here in portions of Colorado and areas of New Mexico. We have wind advisories up here in effect for portions of southwestern Oregon, portions of California, all in Nevada, portions of Utah, Arizona, and western areas of Colorado. Red flag warnings in the red for portions of Colorado, New Mexico, and western Texas. High wind watches also in effect for that region as well. Alright, we even got some special marine warnings off the coast of Florida. Small craft advisory gale warning from Maine to the South Carolina coast. Then again from Southern California to Washington State. Hawaiian Chain Island looks good. We have some winter weather advisories in the portions of Alaska and the northern and central areas. Special weather statements to the western areas, and small craft advisories around the coastal areas. Alright, let's move on to the Storm Prediction Center outlook. This is for your Monday. Here's that severe weather. General thunderstorm from northern Maine to around Miami Beach, Florida, Fort Myers, over toward Lupton. More general thunderstorm from Seattle, far east to Pierre, to McCook, to Colby area, to Grand Junction, and far south in California, Fresno, California. Then we have more general thunderstorm from Buffalo, New York, all the way down to Lupkins, Texas, and then Alexandria, Louisiana, to Watertown, to New York City, marginal risk. Then we have a slight risk from up here near Albany to New Orleans, and then we have a enhanced risk from Mobile to Dalton to Columbia, South Carolina, Richmond, Virginia Beach, Roanoke, and surrounding areas. They did exactly what I said a couple days ago. I said they would add an enhanced risk to this area, and they did. So this is a level 3 from Alabama all the way to Virginia. So this is the highest percentage for severe weather on the scale here for this region here. Tornado probability look like this: 2% from Rochester all the way to Alexandria to Jacksonville, 5% from New Orleans to just south of Washington D.C., 10% chance of a tornado from Mobile to Columbia to Raleigh to Richmond, Virginia Beach, Wilmington, North Carolina. I would not be surprised to see a slashed area there. I can't get it out, but there we go. Maybe for this region here, what's in the 10%, could mean EF2 tornado to maybe EF3 or maybe even 4 possible. Cannot rule out an EF0 to EF1 as well, anywhere in the green sector, but the 5% risk area 2, and even in the 10% area could rule out an EF0 to about EF4 tornado, possibly in the 10% risk area. So I would not be surprised to see that happen. So some areas may get destroyed by some tornadoes tomorrow and also tonight as that storm system moves east. Alright, damage and wind look like this. We have 30% from Mobile to Columbia to Richmond, Virginia Beach, Raleigh, Wilmington, Charleston, Charlotte area, you're included, Atlanta. And then this is for winds up to about 80 miles per hour possible in that line in this area here in the red. New Orleans to up here near the Albany area of New York State. You have winds up to about 60 miles per hour for you guys, and in the brown areas anywhere from about 50 to 60 miles per hour winds in that region. Alright, here's a look at the large hail. We're looking at maybe 15% risk area from Columbia to Charleston to Dalton to Mobile to New Orleans. Some areas could have damage in hail up to golf ball size hail, maybe even baseball size hail cannot be ruled out as well. Alexandria to Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C. You could have maybe pea-size to maybe quarter-size hail possible as well. Cannot rule out a quarter-size to pea-size hail as well in the 15% area for your Monday. So just give everybody a heads up just in case if anything changes right now. That's the way it's looking at this time. Alright, let's move on to day number 3, which is your Tuesday. Here's that severe weather spreading from Delmont, Iowa, all the way down to Abilene to Dallas. Slight risk, marginal risk from Austin all the way to La Crosse, Wisconsin to Chicago, Illinois. General thunderstorms over here from Spokane, Washington to Cedar City, Utah, all the way to Liberal and Garding and Colby areas of Kansas, and far south to Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah to Tampa, back to New Orleans, Louisiana, and also Houston area also. The probability looks like this: 5 and 15%. The severe weather risk looks like this, with a yellow slashed area from Abilene to Omaha, Nebraska, and Delmont, and also Pierre. You're included in that as well. So 5% from Chicago down towards central Texas for severe weather on Tuesday. Now let's move on to your Wednesday outlook. This is day number 4, and it looks like this. They have already issued a slight risk from Waco to Detroit to Cleveland, Milwaukee. You're included. Also, like I said last night, they would add an enhanced risk to this area as well. Shreveport to Chicago to Fort Wayne to Cincinnati, Bowling Green, 30% risk area. Would not be surprised, maybe even a moderate risk could be added later in this forecast package. Alright, let's move on to day number 5. It moves a little bit from Shreveport to Charleston, West Virginia to Columbus, Ohio. Kind of just shrinks in coverage, 15%. Would not be surprised. It could expand a little further to the east, maybe even add an enhanced risk as well, possibly. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center has not got anything east of the mountains yet, but we will continue to monitor this and see if they do later forecast. I would not be surprised to see maybe a marginal risk or a slight risk added for portions of the south and southeastern and mid-Atlantic regions coming up maybe on day 6. Well, it'll be day 5, but so we'll continue to monitor it, see what happens. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Like these videos, share these videos, and everyone stay safe out there, because it's going to be a bumpy ride over the next several days to come, because as the atmosphere gets primed for springtime, this is the prime time season for a lot of severe weather to occur across the nation. So get ready, folks. Here it comes. Take care and also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got. And we'll catch you back in the next one. And make sure you subscribe if you have not already.